up? What's up? Want to just throw a few things out there on this video to make sure we're all on the same page. Things like the shooting technique that I like to call the Juke shot, which essentially is a full body and camera angle look to one's right or left that ultimately aids in taking partial damage or no damage at all if the timing and directional step is right, executing the move at the moment just before his or her shot, just like the dodge shot. And it's almost like another rock, paper, scissors scenario when choosing to dodge left, right, or rear with that single bot step. The entire animation as an alternative countermeasure to roadie run dodging and shooting or wildbound shooting. The opponent's body language usually dictates their next move unless they are swinging and curving in natural rounds. Think of Call of Duty trick shots minus the camping. There's also a way to increase one's chances of picking up a weapon if someone doesn't like sharing the good stuff. That happens by holding down the pickup button just a couple of seconds before the pickup happens. It really kind of boils down to the last few seconds and who initiates the hold first. That's what it's looking like and feeling like to me. Some players should be shamed for waiting too long for a weapon pickup when their wait time could be allotted towards suppressing an enemy nearby a friendly. My rule of thumb, therefore, is 20 seconds or less. If not, leave it to my buddy that's spawning next to me, after me, because of the time that it would take for me to push up toward the enemy side of the map to gain flanking map coverage opportunities. A player doesn't have to be directly over an object for the pickup to happen successfully either, but a direct step over the object needs to happen even if it was as fast as a credit card swipe. Then the death sphere reach is enough for the interaction to follow through after. If you look at the pattern with all these different scenarios, when I use the tack on button to determine the amount of seconds left before the weapon spawn happens, I make my move about 5 seconds before the care package drops. And this is mainly because of the character exposure, since there's always a chance to get one's head popped off. But on the plus side, get an opportunity for an ambush easy kill to an opponent wanting the same thing. I recall since Ultimate Edition, when one used to throw a smoke grenade in the vicinity of a nearby opponent, that opposing character will usually shout out an audible confirmation of his or her close by presence. It was during execution when this hunt really highlighted this trick. Sharing is caring, don't get me wrong. It's less manpower towards the action if two are bickering over a weapon. As long as the other team doesn't get it, is what really matters. Speaking of my lower rank buds, I like to think of lancering properly by setting up proper ambushes, which means our avatar's body hidden from sight in either the crouch position or our left depth hemisphere hidden behind a wall to appear invisible, as well as knowing where to prioritize fire, which mine goes towards a friendly who is in the middle of a firefight or is about to approach a potential ambusher, which means it's on like Donkey Kong around them corners, walls, and objects with the burst fire, let go, burst fire. Hopefully he or she isn't roadie running toward that corner, right? Because bot walking around blind spots is the safer way to get counters, pop shots, or dodge wallbound shots. Full auto, really only if I'm approaching corners with Lancer and going blindy for the bot walk, swap out chunk shot, or if they're running at me, but what's on the screen and the distance they are from us really is closer than what it appears. If you notice there, one of the benefits of burst fire lancering is having that gap of silence to be able to hear one's flank coming. Knowing when to let go of the lancering to make it appear as if one is clueless is the next level of timing and pretending to increase the success rate of not having to work harder for the kill than is necessary. Predicting the path the enemy will take, usually going by their momentum and direction, and shooting ahead of the path or defensive dodge, depress, let go, depress, cover items becoming key factors in what they see as sanctuaries for recovery and backup. Speaking of which, sanctuary clearing, which clears the path for friendlies from the ambushers in blind spot areas, is one of those things I want to quickly talk over at how I do it with the least amount of effort the battle may require. It's the usual corner clearing military tactics you've seen before, where corners come in order and while one is focused in clearing one out, processing the visuals for any threat and whatnot, one is exposed from the direction of the other corner. It becomes harder when approaching T intersections, but I prefer to go facing the left on that fork in the road since an opponent will most likely take the easy route for surveillance and first shot setup without a handicap. It becomes easier to place our right hemisphere toward that right hand side in case they do fire off that initial round that initiates battle. 2v1ing. Overcoming two opponents has always been my sought after victory battles. To ensure that I'm helping my team no matter what, that means winning my own battle against one of the other guy's teammates and helping my teammate out with theirs. That counts as 2 kills. What helps me out in these sticky and most common situations is movement consistency, shot technique, distance they are for me, shot confidence or lack of thereof, and brain power when it comes to outplays. Every 2v1 is different. Sometimes one is roadie running at me and the other one's lancering at me. These are easy as long as I can bait the Nasher guys or the cover item to be able to recuperate some health and get the overhead shot started. It's really the crossfire that gets difficult to avoid, and the hard aims don't make it any easier to hang out in that spot. So I move around and I evade, but the key thing here is trying to keep one's target on screen regardless of any dodge technique that I use, so it's better for me to do a back roll facing the enemy than it is to do a roll forward and giving my enemy my back. Too many people getting their heads popped out there, Carmine style, and making it harder for snipers to miss a shot because of linear and non-synchronized squad pushes. Erratic and hidden movements. You really gotta have one guy on your team that's a smoker. And no, I don't mean smoking marijuana, but one that has a smoke grenade equipped if everyone's gonna be having flashes equipped, because good placement with those could help the cause to create a choke point of nothing but blind bats, opening the opportunity for longer cap holds and map position control for the map consuming settlers that want to set up for the crossfire campfire match finisher. So where to put him, you say? Certainly not the same location as one's enemy, because that's not aiding anyone but one's opposing team to have longer control over a certain location. Once the targets get close, it's a matter of starting the rhythm and cycle of the Nasher's maximum fire rate output. Not sandwiched in between any of the guys firing at me, but with almost the same synchronized firing rate as theirs to get 100% counter shots to completely repel the incoming fire. To push a target with a smoke, it's always better to place it not in one's walking path, but in a place where a choke point becomes smaller and still creates a walkable path. Red flag is when a smoke is directly placed over a weapon pickup. I personally find it better to place it just ahead of the weapon pickup, still enough to block out the crossfire of course, but it buys one a split second to do the credit card swipe grab technique, or just wait for a second for the footstep confirmation in order to kill before grabbing the goods. It's always good to take that little pause before a pickup anyway, just in case there's a Lancer baiter who might be in master rank, making him a Lancer master baiter. Now I know it's not fair to cover using flashes more, I know. But if a player feels most comfortable with flashes over smokes, and that's cool, man. I'm just showing you guys again what works for me. Placing a smoke directly at the cover or blind spot will flush us out, making it easier to count players and know whether a push is feasible, worthy of pushing, or waiting for a player to take the long but rewarding flank. Flanks on this game are absolute game changers. People need to run with their wingman, I get it, but not too close to allow double torques to happen, even double booms. That's the distance I keep myself from a friendly wingman. It's not too far, it's not too close. Always placing smokes at choke points to deter enemies from rushing in altogether. It diminishes the threat level temporarily, just enough time for the others spawning in to rush around for the assist. Chainsaw with smoke only works if the traffic is moving inward towards oneself, so I find it better not to chainsaw but to lancer through the smoke until it clears out to get hit markers and confirm targets instead. I only covered a few things on this video and have a lot more stuff I want to talk about in detail. These videos take a while to make, and sometimes I really don't know if I'm talking about something that you guys feel is a waste of time mentioning. Keep in mind, guys, there's players who are joining the Gears community today, tomorrow, and when Gears 6 drops. Until then.